Alright everyone, hi, welcome back. So, I've done a full Let's Play of Resident Evil 3, obviously, but today I want to discuss Resident Evil 8 coming up, as the other day we saw a lot of gameplay for it, or just a little bit of gameplay. We also saw the demo get announced, and that got me just thinking about a lot of really cool ideas that could be happening. So, I have for you today just a list of different theories about what the game is going to include, things that might happen, reasoning behind the game. Some of these theories are a bit more grounded in evidence, others are just a bit random or just kind of random ideas. So I will basically let you know what each thought is, and obviously if you like the theories, you can obviously say like, hey, cool theories, or if you have your own theories, then be sure to just let me know. So, my first theory for you today, guys, by the way, I do have Resident Evil playing in the background, just because it makes for the gameplay a bit more interesting. I would ideally have the Resident Evil 8 demo playing in the background, but I don't have a PS5 yet, so I won't be able to do that. So my first real theory for you today, guys, Jesus, malpractice, is going to be that Chris Redfield is now a werewolf. Now, I did mention that some of these theories are going to be a bit out there and a bit peculiar, but the reasoning behind this is for two main thoughts. First and foremost, on the actual box art that was released for the game, as in it's been teased, it's been all but confirmed at this point, we see a alternate version of Chris with some very kind of beast-like aspects to him. Now, this beast-like aspect makes me think of something like Bloodborne, which has a very similar Lovecraftian horror kind of vibe to it. So I have a feeling that's Pano is because he's basically gone and got himself infected, and he needs Ethan's help as he can't quite control what's going on with him. The other reason why I think he's taking Ethan, not someone like Leon, I think he's lost contact with Leon, so he needs Ethan's help to cure him of being a werewolf. This actually leads me into another theory later on in the video, but I'm just going to go on to my next theory first. But yeah, so that's my first theory, is that Chris Redfield is now a werewolf, as we see things in the game that seem to be attacking the player that look a lot like werewolves. My second theory for you guys today, the vampires, the tall lady, as people are referring to her, Lady Damasco, I think her name is. I'm not too good at pronouncing, so if I have just completely butchered it, please don't hold it against me, because I'd rather not have people be like, you mispronounced it, you illiterate swine, it is Demistru, or however it's pronounced. Look, guys, I'm saying Demistru just because I'm terrible at pronouncing names, but it's got that European Gothic vibe, it's got a castle very similar to Resident Evil 4, so I have a theory that the vampires are related to Lord Salazar and main villains of Resident Evil 4. I have a feeling that there is definitely a strong connection. And the main other reason I theorize this, during the actual trailer for the game, we see some interior shots of the castle, including a small statuette in a hallway that looks very similar but not exact to a Las Plagas parasite. Now, this is more me fan speculating. If there's a statue that looks very, very similar to a Las Plagas parasite, the vampires are to it, or at least a connection to it. You know, it's possible, guys, hey. So, my third theory for you guys today, as I said, a lot of these are a little bit out there and a little strange. So, these last couple of theories are a bit more wild and a bit more out there. So, my third theory is the identity of the man with the sunglasses, the Van Helsing looking type character. I'm just going to call him the Vampire Hunter, because I have a feeling that the way that he's speaking to the player, he clearly isn't an enemy, he's more of an ally. So I think he could be Joe Baker. Why do I think this? Well, first of all, it would be a nice returning character to have. So one thing about Resident Evil 7 was it introduced a lot of interesting new side characters. Obviously most of them, you know, Zoe and the core Baker family, it's unlikely they will return in some way. Although Zoe might. But Joe, who has shown himself to be very capable of dealing with infected, and not wanting this to happen to anyone else, might join Ethan on his travels during Resident Evil 8, especially as a thank you for curing Zoe during the end of Zoe expansion, because obviously Ethan was the one who got the Umbrella team there to help her out. But that's just my theory on the identity of the man with the sunglasses. This leads me on to my next theory. This is more about the actual what's going on in the village itself. So I compared earlier with the beasts to Bloodborne. Now I think that there is definitely going to be ties with blood, and there's something wrong with blood. I mean, if the main villains are vampires and it's got kind of a gothic horror thing and people are turning into beasts, this is very Bloodborne-esque, given that the castle we found in the demo a note that states the castle used to be a winery.
Alright, where are we headed?
So I believe that there is very much something else going on.
Hey, I'm Super Cop.
There is something going on with the blood. It's corrupting people, it's causing issues, and that's more speculation on my part, to be honest. But no, those are the main theories that I have today with that main idea, like the blood is causing infections somehow, that there's something wrong here.
Please try again.
It's possible. I'm not too sure on the rest of the ideas though, because obviously where you've got the infected blood going on, it's possible that people are being turned into vampires by it. The vampires might even be distributing it to the villagers, making them into beasts. So this is partly what I think has something to do with the ritual that the lady refers to. She refers to something as the ritual, which obviously very clearly has ties to something going on. There is something else going on. Like, there is clearly a higher up food chain, something going on here. But I guess we'll never know.
Valid route confirmed.
Carlos, it's me.
I do have a few more theories as well about who the woman is, her identity. As I said, I think she has ties to Lord Sadler, as she is talking to someone over the phone who is clearly above her on the food chain, and that might just mean that she either has connections to him, the person she's talking to might have connections to Lord Sadler, obviously. If you look in Resident Evil history, there are obviously people who are related or connected. You look at the Weskers, you've got Alex, you've got Albert, both of them, you know, they're both related, so it's possible, I guess. I'm not 100% sure on that theory, but I think that they are at least tied to Sadler and the Los Illuminados cult in some way, because they seem to be a lot like the Los Illuminados cult in that there's the more grunt soldiers, the dungeon, the castle, the European set. A lot of it just makes me think of Resident Evil 4 with the Los Illuminados, the Las Plagas. So that might have something to do with what's going on with these guys. But that's more just me speculating. The only other real theory that I have for you guys today, and this is more speculation. First of all, I think that the ritual that they're performing will be a key to curing Chris. So either Chris is going to die, or there is going to be like a ritual to save Chris and stop him becoming a werewolf, which is why he needs Ethan's help. However, obviously Ethan is now living his comfortable life with me. He might not want to just save Chris just because he saved him that one time with the Bakers. Although that might be the sole reason why Chris is roping Ethan into this. He might be a bit like, well, I saved your ass with the Bakers. I saved you from Evelyn. She would have killed you, so you owe me one. Or, and this leads me on to my final theory mentioning Evelyn. In Resident Evil 7, obviously we see that both Mia and Ethan were infected with the E-necrotoxin. The E-necrovirus. Now, between 7 and 8, Ethan and Mia have had a child together, as we see a baby in the promo. I believe that the baby has somehow, due to her parents being infected, contracted the E-necrovirus and become infected with herself. So Chris is effectively holding Ethan and Mia's baby to ensure that they do what he wants, which in this particular case is he wants Ethan and Mia, or at least Ethan, to go to this village and find out what's going on. Because that might not only be a cure for Chris and his werewolf condition, like I keep speculating, but also might be a way to cure Ethan and Mia's baby, which gives Ethan a much better reason for going. As we've seen in the previous game, Ethan is willing to do anything to help the ones he cares about. However, these are more my speculations and theories. I don't expect all of them to be 100% right, but that would be pretty cool if it was. What do you guys think of these theories? Do you have any of your own? Please do leave them below if you have your own theories or ideas of what's going on in Resident Evil 8. I am planning on playing the full demo when it comes out on the PlayStation 4, which does lead me on to one thing. I am so glad that Capcom put it on the PS4. I was incredibly disappointed when I found out it was going to be on the next gens only, so when they announced the last gen port, I was very happy to find it out. But I just wanted to say those are just my theories, these are just my ideas. If I'm right, then, you know, great. But if I'm wrong, then oh well. But I think these could be some very interesting theories going on what I've seen throughout the game, going off clips from the trailers, things from the actual game, in the demo. But these are all my theories and speculations. I have been Cashman Nikita. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If it's your birthday, then happy birthday. But thank you for watching today, and I just hope you have a good day, and honestly I can't wait to play Resident Evil 8 when that comes out.